Welcome to the Film Garage 208 podcast. My name is Sarah, and this is Daniel with me.
Hello.
Hello. Today, our special guest is Paige Anne.
Hi.
Hello. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast today.
Yes, I'm so excited.
Yay. We have done a few things with you and gotten to know you a little bit. And so this is really exciting to get to dive a little bit more in.
Yes, I'm really excited.
So tell us about you.
So
what did you just do?
Hi, my name is Paige Anne. I just turned 17 years old and I was on this past season of American Idol. I actually made it to the top 20, not only being cut once, but twice. But I've been singing since I was really young, since I was 8. And so it's been almost 10 years of my life just chasing this dream, building a business out of it, and just like taking it more as my life goal, more so than just a hobby.
Yeah. Yeah.
8 years old, you started.
When I was 8 years old, I auditioned for Les Mis, and it was a Sounds Choir musical, and I was sobbing aggressively outside before I went in. And my mom actually convinced me to audition for the show by saying she would audition. Yes, I was so scared.
Okay.
But then after that, I sang Castle on a Cloud, the little 8-year-old me. You can look it up on YouTube.
Saying she would audition, and so that's what got you to do it.
And she did. And
your mom?
Yes, she auditioned for the musical, and she sang On My Own from Les Mis.
What?
Yep. And she's not a singer. She's never been in a show or anything, but 8-year-old me was like, nope. You have to audition with me.
Wow.
Like, if we go down, we go down together.
Do you have that on video?
Mom tips.
No, I do not have my mom. She would not allow me to video it. But if you Google Paige Anne Castle on a Cloud, you can see 8-year-old me shaking. Just like freaking
Is it the audition
out.
video?
Yeah.
Oh.
Do you remember watching her?
Oh, yeah. I was sitting there with my grandma, and she kept forgetting the words. Like, she's going to kill me for saying this. But we were all just sitting there, like, giggling. But it made me feel better. Like, that is a true supporter right there. Someone that will do something that they've never done before. Yeah. So,
that's huge.
I know.
Cool mom moment.
It was a really cool mom moment.
Wow. Okay. So going on from there, you started Les Mis when you were 8. So did you just keep going from there?
Yeah, I did not get the part.
Oh,
they actually called me and they were like, hey, you're too... Oh, I wasn't 8 years old yet. I was 7.
Okay.
They wanted an 8-year-old. And so I didn't get the part. And I was like, oh, that sucks. But I knew I was going into it like being too young. And so like after that, I just picked up musical theater. Sang with IFIAC a lot. I did like a lot of their summer musical camps. And then I did their fall musicals. And I spent a lot of time in musical theater. And then I found that like that wasn't really my niche. Like I didn't love
musical theater.
Yeah, I didn't really love it. And so after that, I started like doing national anthems, and that's really where I kind of like figured it out.
Okay.
Like by age 11, I was singing at Utah Jazz games and just like found that little 90 seconds of me singing the anthem, which is one of my favorite songs to sing because it has such power behind it. And I mean, I don't know, it's just cool that you already have a standing ovation too. Yeah. But it's like not all the attention is focused on me. It's focused on the flag. It's focused on the meeting. And so it's just like a really powerful song. And so 11-year-old me kind of figured out like that's what I really liked doing. And so I started doing that, and that's where I started making money. That's where I started, I don't know.
You were able
really
to start monetizing that already at such a young age. And so going to jazz games, so how did you do that?
Yeah, where do you get picked up?
So the first time I auditioned for the Utah Jazz, I actually had laryngitis.
So you auditioned for it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you go to Utah, and like, I don't know how they do it now, because now they just reach out to me and ask me. Awkward. But, but
No big deal.
Yeah. Took a long time to get there. But yeah, the first time I ever went it was like right around my birthday, and I got so sick before. And I remember waking up the morning of it, my mom was like, do you still want to go? Like, this is in my bio for like on my Spotify. Like, it was like a life-changing moment for me that I was like, no, Mom, I'm going to go. Like, I want to do this. And so I was so sick. Like, I could barely get through the song. And
Mom's like, I'm not auditioning.
And like Kurt Bester and Jenny Oaks Baker, like all these like big names in Utah were like the judges. And so my mom was like, hey, Paige, you have to do this. And I was like, dude, I don't know. So I went and I sang, and I barely made it to like, and the Rockets regular. Like, and then they cut me off. And I was like, oh my gosh, like frick, I just messed this up. And like, I made it on like their little like news thing. So there's a photo, like if you Google it, like you can find my YouTube video of when I auditioned for this. And like, there's a photo of me like singing, and I like look in pain because I was in pain. And the next day I went to my voice coach. His name is Dean Kalin. He's really cool guy. He's worked with some of like the biggest people like on American Idol. He sends a lot of people to American Idol. But the next day
I'm gonna look this up.
Which one? Oh,
Go on. I'm gonna look it up.
So the next day I went to my voice coach. His name's Dean Kalin. He actually taught like David Archuleta, who was like one of my biggest mentors on the show and he got second place a really long time ago, but he's like one of the biggest names that came from there.
Yeah.
So he the next day he like fixed me. He's a wizard. I call him Dean the Wizard. Did you find it?
The first thing that comes up, Paige Anne, Utah Jazz audition with a bad cold. That's the first.
Lonnie.com
Your mom posted that.
Yep, Lonnie.com.
That's so funny.
It's okay. But I mean, it's all a part of the journey.
Let them know what was going on. You had a cold.
The reason why I sucked. Had a cold, everybody, but we still got to post it on YouTube. Content.
I love it.
Yeah, I know, but so the next day I went to my voice coach and he like fixed me up because I had to sing at a Boise State game in Boise the next day.
Oh, wow.
So I was going place to place, but
literally.
Yeah. So I've been doing this
And then they paid you every time you sang.
Oh,
Or is
the
that how
Utah
that
Jazz
works?
has never paid me.
No. Bummer.
Not to that point. I'm not that cool.
Yeah.
But I get playoffs games now.
I mean, it's cool to even be considered and be the one doing that. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's so fun. And I love it. Like, just like connecting with that crowd. Like, they're always just so hype. So it's really fun. But the next day I went to my voice coach and he fixed me up. I call him a wizard because he literally like, I was sick and he gave me this like recipe that would make me healthy again.
Mm-hmm.
So I did that and I went and I sang at the Boise State game the next
a
day.
recipe like herbs and stuff.
Chinese
it's
herbal
like this
medicine.
You don't have to tell us your
It's
secret,
awful. It's like hot water, apple cider vinegar, cayenne pepper, lemon, sea salt, honey.
It's
And
like
you
that diet
gargle.
drink.
And it worked.
Oh my gosh, you gargle it and it's the most painful experience, but you do it every 15 minutes.
Every 15 minutes.
Oh, it's so
For how
bad.
long?
I'm used to it now.
A day?
Yeah, a whole day. Like every 15 minutes. So you do it for 15 minutes, like you gargle the whole 8 ounces and then you take a 15-minute break and then you gargle it again and you're healthy by the end of it. It's crazy.
Like your whole body feels better, not just like
oh my
your
gosh,
throat
it's like
for singing.
witch's brew. Like it's
All
insane.
right, we'll try
it's
that.
insane.
Yeah.
Add that to your recipe books.
Literally. The best immunity trick right there. But I was singing the next day. I sent him a video of it and I was like, hey, thanks. And he sent that in to the people that I auditioned for and I got my first Utah Jazz game. And you can Google that too. And yeah, 11-year-old me was singing at a Utah Jazz game and I was scared. You see me just little shaking right up there in the middle of the court. But
nerve-wracking. I
Was
give
it
you
a-
props, man.
Yeah.
Was it a full house that night?
oh yeah.
Yeah.
And they were screaming for me and it was like just that whole new experience.
That is a ton of pressure.
It's so much
I
pressure.
can't even imagine because everyone gets quiet and knows what's
Yeah,
coming.
everyone's
and they have
standing
high
up.
expectations.
Yeah.
And if you're bad, everyone talks about it.
Yep.
Yeah.
The entire game or you're like the game highlight. So it was a lot for me at 11 years old, but like, I mean, I love the adrenaline rush. Like that's my whole thing is I just love the adrenaline rush of it all.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think the biggest crowd I was in front of at 11.
Well, I told you my
I don't think
terrible
anything,
story.
Nothing like that.
My horror
That's for
story
sure.
of like we were in a play. Well, we did so many plays in like elementary school. And so my friend volunteered to read a line in front of like everybody to like announce it. She conveniently got sick. So then she was like, hey, will you please? Because I was her best friend. So I'm like, now I have to do this line. So I'm memorizing all night, trying to memorize this line. So I'm on stage and I like grab the mic and I completely froze. I forgot everything that I had to like go over to the teacher who's like on the piano. And I'm like, what's the line? And she hands me like a little piece of paper. So it's like 2 minutes of me messing up on stage. It lives in my dreams right
It's definitely
My
like
nightmares.
My biggest fear is
That's why we
forgetting
didn't
the
make it to
words.
American Idol.
now. And then that's why I
We couldn't make
quit
it
in
past
4th grade.
step one.
That's why I quit in 4th grade. No, I like my biggest fear is like messing up the words to the national anthem.
The national anthem, yeah.
Yeah, because
Which
like
part?
everyone knows
Is there a
it.
part?
Oh my gosh, I'm so
Start
scared of
blending
it.
them all together.
Yeah.
Oh, that's like a big fear of mine, but I haven't done it to this day, and I've been singing it for
Okay,
like
well,
ever.
we'll not talk about it so we don't jinx
Yeah, we're not
anything.
manifesting this.
No, we're not
There are
jinxing
sometimes
anything.
that I will be singing it though, and like I'm convinced by the end of it, like I messed it up. I messed up the words, and I'll walk off stage
What
and
did
I'll be
I
like,
say?
"Mom, did I forget the words?" She goes, "No, you did fine." And I was like, "Oh, okay." So like, I haven't forgotten them yet, but we're it's a big fear of mine.
Not yet.
Yeah.
We won't.
So how many national anthems have you sung by now?
Oh, that's
Into the more than 50?
way more than 50.
More than 100.
Probably.
Wow.
Nice.
I've been
That's a
singing
lot.
it like that's majority of my gigs. That's the moneymaker for me. It's like national anthems. I travel a lot for them. That's where I sing in front of the most people. Like
Yeah.
And it's a song you have to go all out for. You can't.
Well,
really...
like there's like where you're doing too much, and then there's like where you're just doing it too plain. So you really, whenever I do it, like I change it every single time I sing it. Like I really just feed off the audience. So if I think the audience would like it more traditional, then I'll sing it more traditional. But if I think the crowd will like just eat it up if I, you know, go crazy, then they're like, then I'll do it. Like it's really just like reading the crowd and like just really just going for it.
Yeah.
Have you ever read it wrong?
Probably. But you know, they'll just be like, oh my gosh, she's such a pop singer. And I'm like, yep.
Pop singer.
I'm such a pop singer.
Okay, so speaking of, how did you even get to the American Idol stage then? Because I'll let you talk about that.
That's a long story.
Yeah.
So when I was 14 years old, my voice coach was like, okay, you're ready. Like, you're ready. And he sent me into an Idol Scout. And so that scout reached out to me. My voice coach, I would not be where I'm at without him. Like, he was the best connection I think I've ever
That's really cool.
ever made. So yeah, I got sent into the Idol Scout at age 14. And so you have to be 15 years old to audition for American Idol. And so when I initially went in, I was auditioning all summer. Like going into my freshman year, I was auditioning all summer and I still had braces. Like, I'm so thankful.
What does that mean? Like you were like doing rounds of
like
auditions?
Zooms.
Okay.
Like they just throw you into these Zooms and you'd have to figure out audio. You couldn't have mics or anything.
That's really hard,
And I'm a really
actually.
loud singer. And so it was really hard figuring out like the settings and everything.
No
and
mics?
I even, no mics, nothing.
What's
Because
the
they
point
don't
of
want you.
that?
That's like seems so pointless.
Because they
That's
don't
so
want
hard.
you like editing your voice.
Like they want the raw.
Yeah, they want
can
raw.
get.
But even then, I'm like, is Zoom the accurate representation?
Probably.
I don't think.
I bet it stands out once you get a good person.
Yeah.
Who like
Maybe, huh?
after 100
You gotta be
bad
good.
singers like.
Oh, well, I mean like
to sound
200,
good in Zoom.
200,000 people audition every year. Like that's insane.
200,000?
200,000. Because they have like these like open calls where like you just have to, the voice does it too, where you just like have to get on and like you wait for your turn and then you sing for 30 seconds and then
Online.
it turns off. And there's like maybe one producer watching and they'll just star you
Cool.
if it works. But I didn't go through that process.
I didn't know that existed.
I was blessed to be able to be scouted. And then I went in initially with a producer and then they just kept showing me to like other producers to make it. So I had like a team of people behind me when I was presented to the head of the network.
Okay.
And so when I went into the execs, her name's Megan and she.
And this was in person.
No, this was over Zoom. Everything was over Zoom until I went to Vegas to audition in front of the judges.
Okay.
But Megan, she's like the exec producer, like the big scary lady. Oh, she wasn't that scary, but it was intimidating. She's a queen. But I went into that Zoom meeting and that's where I got the yes or no, whether or not to be able to go to Vegas. But leading into that Zoom, like they kept telling me like, don't dress too young, but don't dress too old. Like change this about yourself, but like don't change it because we want you to be raw. You know, just like real producer talk, like building your image on the show.
Yeah.
So when I got the yes to go to Vegas, I cried and had a cute little moment with my mom. I was like, oh, hug. So then I flew out. Oh, I'm way ahead of myself. I was 14 years old. I got to that.
Skipped a few years.
And they told me literally when I got the yes to go audition in front of Katie, Lionel, and Luke for that season, I was one day too young. 1 day.
Yeah.
So then I had to wait an entire year
Well, it sucks.
to go on the show. It sucked.
Yeah.
But I mean, I low-key forgot about it. Like I wasn't really thinking about it. Like I was like, if it happens, it happens.
I mean, I guess you're still 14, so you're not like heartbroken at that point.
And
like
I mean,
you know you're out of the age limit. So like
Oh,
it's
yeah.
kind of like, I'd be lucky if I got it.
well,
like
I had to be 15 by the time they started.
the show.
No, like when they started filming it. And I was born on September 19th.
Like you
and they
can't
were
push film day back one day.
They tried.
No way.
They were literally
That's a
trying.
big ask.
They were talking to their lawyers because like, I don't know. They were like 14-year-old, big voice, like, please come to us. I still had braces. I'm so thankful I did not go on that
your
season.
look for the whole.
Like it is God's work that I
There's a reason they don't
was
want you on at
not
that age.
on that season.
yeah.
So I like that entire
Yeah.
year, like I wasn't even like working towards it. I wasn't even thinking about like, yeah, I'm going to go on American Idol next year. Like I was just doing my thing, but I knew it was like a big growth period for me. So fast forward to the next summer, all of a sudden I'm getting reached out to by this Idol scout who's one of my best friends now. But he was like, hey, you want to audition for the season still? And I go, yeah. So I hopped on another Zoom meeting. I went through that process all over again, got to the exec. She said yes.
Was it the same lady?
Yep, same lady. She's been doing it
Does she
since
remember
season
you?
1. Yeah.
Okay.
Because, like, they keep tabs on everyone. Like, it's
Yeah.
insane. Like, if you are auditioning, anybody out there that is auditioning, they keep tabs on you. Like, they will stalk your social media. They will. So you just have to keep up.
And that's
the
when
work.
you're doing those initial like Zooms and stuff
Yeah.
for them to keep an eye. You okay?
They will keep tabs on
I
you
see.
because they want to see somebody who's marketable. They want to see someone who will be consistent.
Totally.
Like, you are a brand at that
They're
point.
not just trying to
100%.
give that much money and success to anyone.
Yeah. And so when the thing is once you get to auditions, there's 300 people per city. There's 900 people that get to go and have a chance to get a golden ticket to go to Hollywood. But they only air like 25.
That like sounds like a lot, but doesn't at the same time.
So you're saying
It's-
300 per city. So is there 3 cities
There's
that
3
they do
cities.
auditions from?
So there,
okay.
for my
That makes
year,
sense.
there was Vegas,
Oh, I see.
So that's what
Nashville,
yeah. Okay.
I see.
and New Orleans.
Not just like literal cities in the
Yeah,
whole
I was
world.
like, wait,
He's
what?
like,
That's
there's more
crazy.
cities than
That's
3.
That's an insane amount of people.
You know, so they will literally, how it worked, like I thought I'd
I'm
have
an
to figure
idiot.
out like my own travel and like figure out everything. But I didn't. Like, they flew me there. They paid for my hotel. We stayed in like
That's so crazy.
the Waldorf Astoria in Vegas.
Damn.
Oh my gosh.
Fun.
It was so bougie. I met the baby. Like, what?
Nice.
I was in the elevator with the baby. Like,
Like you just ran into him?
yeah, it was insane. My mom called him shiny. She goes, ooh, you're shiny. And I go, Mom, that's the baby. Like,
What'd he say?
he just goes, aha. And then he started talking about how he's going to go get lunch and how he is so hungry. And I was like,
We're all
yeah.
human.
I know. I literally just went,
Like, can I get a picture? Did you get a picture?
I was too
Yeah.
scared.
Like,
Like,
as
I was
he's
literally-
leaving, the doors
I
are
was
closing, you
literally
take a
like,
photo.
That's literally what I was doing. I was like videoing like this because I
That's
didn't want to be
cool.
like, hey, my mom just called you shiny, but like, I know who you are. Trying to take a picture right now. Sorry, I keep hitting the mic. But anyways, yeah,
That's
I
fun.
stayed in Vegas and there's
Yeah.
300 people per city. So there's 300 people there and like the days are really long. Like, there was
So is
5.
everyone in the hotel all
Yeah.
American Idol at that point?
Yeah.
Okay.
Majority
That's
of it.
intense.
Yeah.
That's-
Yeah. It was
Interesting. It's like a
insane.
huge summer camp of like American Idol. Like,
Oh, you just wait till I tell you about
Okay,
Hollywood
let's
Week.
hear it,
Oh
yeah.
my gosh. So Vegas, 5 days in the same outfit.
you have to
It
wear
was
the same
awful.
outfit?
5
Is it
days
for
in the
filming?
same outfit. Yeah.
Oh
so
my
it took me
gosh.
5 days to film my one audition.
What?
Yeah. And
But
so
how?
everyone had like a set.
Wait,
So either you were like,
what?
I know.
What did they
Isn't that
film?
crazy? We get B-roll, like anything that you saw with me, like hugging my mom and like walking down the strip of Vegas. Like, that was filmed, I think that was actually filmed the day of my audition. But you were either like a day 1, day 2, day 3. But my day
For
was
filming.
over. Yeah, for like your audition. So you'd be
Oh,
day
okay.
1, day 2, day 3. And so like I was filming stuff after I got my golden ticket for before I got my golden
Like
ticket.
pretending like you hadn't gotten it yet. Mhm.
So
Oh, that's a tease because you didn't
It's-
know yet, right?
yeah, I didn't know. So
Just-
it's genuinely like, I don't know. It was so weird. Like,
It's like scripted, but not.
kind of like they want you to be raw. Like, you're in these interviews, but like sometimes you don't know what they want you to be.
Yeah.
Like, for me, they were portraying me as like small town snow cone girl. And I was like, you know, I had my job at the snow cone shack, and I know you guys thought it was funny because I called myself a snow cone artist one time, but
Yeah.
they
now
stuck
it's
with
my whole
that.
personality, and you're making me make snow cones for the judges so I can stand out. So I was like, it's
Yeah.
kind of their way of like slipping into the judges, like, hey, this is a producer favorite. When you
Of,
have
like, you
like something
doing
to
what-
do something.
Got it. I
Interesting.
see.
Yeah. And so my idol scout literally had to like assure me like, hey, it's a good thing that they're like trying to figure out something for you. But yeah, it was a 5-day process. Like, the first day I got there, I got to the hotel and I was like, wow, this is so cool. They like bust us from the the airport. They bust us from the airport, and we get there and the producers are like telling us everything. We had to get COVID tested, get all this stuff done. And I literally
Right, that was
did
COVID
not
time.
expect the next 5 days to be like some of the worst days of my life. Like,
What?
auditions were awful. I
Interesting.
hated it
Okay.
because I would be up at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
and I would be done at 10
PM.
p.m.
Like,
That's
was a
how
lot
long
of
the
that
days were.
downtime with you waiting?
We would just be sitting around and waiting. It was a hurry up and wait.
Yeah.
And so that was really a moment where I was like, I need to care about my appearance. I need to care, but I really don't want to.
Yeah.
And so after I got my golden ticket, after I did my audition, I was just like so defeated because Katie told me no. And I just was so exhausted that I literally had this golden ticket in my hand and I was sobbing in my room.
Like mentally just defeated.
I was gone.
Yeah.
Like I was like, there's no way I'm making it through the first round of Hollywood Week.
Yeah.
Like there's no point. I'm not going to get aired. Like all the producers have lost faith in me. Like I'm done. And so like that was like one of the lowest moments for me on the show because I was just so like, I'm not going to go anywhere.
Yeah, it is
and
a
so
lot of
the
mind
fact that I
games.
made top 20, I was the only person in the top 26 that got a no in their initial audition. Like I was the underdog of the entire season. So going on to Hollywood Week, I'm actually getting like year ago todays on my Snapchat. And it's like tripping me out because I'm like, there's no way this is a year ago. Like
You're all of that happening.
Yeah, it was insane. So I went to Hollywood Week and I was actually
Hollywood Week was only 1 year ago?
Yeah. It was filmed a year ago.
Interesting.
Yeah. So Hollywood Week actually took place like 2 months after my audition.
Yeah.
So I had a lot of time to like recoup myself. So I didn't go into it so defeated. Like I actually went into it like excited. Like I'm going to meet all these people. Like it's going to be a great networking experience, even if I don't make it through the first round. And so I went and I ended up being the first person to perform out of all of Hollywood Week. Like we got on a Zoom meeting and they were like, hey, remember your line and what order you're in your line. Because they had like everyone in lines of 7. And I remember getting on that Zoom meeting and I looked at the paper that was shared on the screen. I was line 1. I sobbed.
You're like, oh no.
There is nothing I hate more than going first. Like, that's how
Is
you
that
know.
a good thing or a bad thing in this competition?
Honestly, you never know. Like you can't like read that deeply into stuff because like you don't know what's going on in like the inner workings of everything. Like you don't know who the favorites are. Like I never met him until I went to Hawaii and he was the winner of the season. Like it's insane like how much goes into it, but also being a minor, like I wasn't really in the mix of the adults. Like they kept us really separate with like school and minor labor laws. Including once we got in California, thank goodness.
I was going to ask God about the hours you mentioned, 5 to 10, but you weren't 18 yet. So
yeah. So in Vegas, they don't have any minor labor laws like that. But once we got into LA, they had to follow the minor labor laws. And so thank goodness for minor labor laws in Hollywood Week. I would have died. Like, I don't know how the adults did it. Like, it's insane to me.
There's like a lot of controversy now with that, though.
With what?
Like
being overworked.
Like that was the big thing with what's the lady from Grey's Anatomy? She spoke out about it a long time ago. The one who we were on a plane with. The one from she has blonde hair.
Oh yeah, she's on
50 First Dates. It's not Katherine Heigl?
No, it's Katherine Heigl.
Katherine Heigl.
Yeah.
Oh.
So we were on the plane with Katherine Heigl. But anyway, so it was a Grey's Anatomy forever ago because she was on it. And she like spoke out about how it was just like really bad filming conditions. Like the hours were insane. Like it just wasn't.
It's definitely not as glamorous as
it wasn't good.
Put it out to
and
be.
so she kind of got like spun around for a long time, just like in the world of like kind of a negative light towards her. But it was literally just because she spoke out. And I think it was now like the main lady of Grey's Anatomy. I don't remember her name either. She just spoke out and was like, she was right. Like she wasn't wrong. Like
one thing I found like Hollywood Week, like, I mean, the hours are insane, but when you're working with, so like 300 people get there and it was 150 people made it to Hollywood Week and it got cut in half like the first day. So it's mentally you're gone, you're sleep deprived. Like the only thing you have
sleep deprivation.
It's insane.
It's just hard.
And like the food situation, it's not that great. But I mean, when you're dealing with that many people being so like, oh, I'm the crap, or
oh my God, I'm sure the personalities.
There are so many different ones. But like honestly, once you found your people, like it was family, like instantly.
That's good.
And so the networking there was insane. So I was the first person. I made it through the first round, and then 2 more days of that round went on. So I was in the same clothes over and over again.
And that was singing in person now.
Yeah.
What was the outfit?
One shoulder. No, it was my one shoulder white outfit with the black leather pants. I designed it myself, aka H&M.
Any stains on this?
Yeah. So I wore heels and I regretted that. And I carried around Converse in my backpack and I changed into them. Or I was just free dogging it everywhere I went. So
do you think it was that hard of like a process because there's just so many people to get through, and like regardless of resources like better food or whatever, it just would have been long because there's so many people? Or do you think they make it that hard to make you like more emotional?
Honestly, like I think it's like that hard to make you emotional, but also it's that hard to get through all those people. Like
it is a lot of work.
Like if you send
It's
150
so much work.
people
It's a lot of
to
work.
get the B-roll and bits,
Yeah.
like a week sounds honestly fast. Like
yeah. It was 2 weeks
There has to be
initially.
so many cameras.
So
Right.
the first round took about 3 days. The first day we just did B-roll. But I was like, why am I going first? Like, why are all these people just waiting around? Like, why am I going first? I learned quickly that night after we got on that Zoom meeting that I was going to be first. So then the next day we performed and we actually went to the theater. And the theater is actually abandoned in downtown LA. Did you guys ever watch Don't Worry, Darling?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, for anyone watching, it's the bathroom scene where she's like going crazy. Like that's where that was filmed. Like I was in where I stayed in the same place that Harry Styles stayed in. So I'm cool or whatever. So we went to the theater the next day. I performed. And then the next day, and like the adults didn't get home until like 11. They didn't get back to the hotel till like 11. I was out by like 7 because they had me there early morning. But then the next day was another round, and they finally let the minors sit in the audience because I went when all of the contestants were sitting in the audience. Oh my gosh, it was so scary. Like
so they were all watching you?
Yeah, and I was the first person, so I was setting the bar. And I was just,
man.
I was so defeated because like I was walking out of my audition with a no, and like nobody really expected much from me.
Yeah.
And so like,
what song did you sing?
Pull You Through by Maggie Rose.
Okay.
And so, yeah, it was just, I mean, I was the only person that got judges' feedback, and it was really good feedback. They never aired it, but I was the only person that got judges' feedback because I was the guinea pig. Like the producers didn't really know what they wanted to do. And so it was like, yeah.
Interesting.
So, yeah.
I didn't realize how much was like open-ended.
Yeah.
It's like, let's just see what happens.
Yeah, it's really like all the drama that goes down, like all the drama that went down for duets, none of it was staged. Like people are genuinely just that dramatic.
I believe that.
Once you're sleep deprived, like a lot can go down. Like once you're sleep
That's
deprived,
true.
hungry, and then they're making
All
you
these personalities.
put together a duet overnight, like yeah, drama's gonna happen. And they didn't even air half the drama.
Yeah.
And
So-
when it's something that can change your life if it goes well.
Yeah.
And
The pressure. Yeah, that's true.
like someone else
Like
messing
winning
up.
the
Yeah,
show. Yeah.
Yeah. One thing I found was like I was
Gotta
genuinely
remember the cameras
surprised.
are rolling.
Oh yeah. You have to remember like
Yeah.
catch yourself when you're saying stupid things in interviews.
Keep it together.
Yeah. But one thing I found was like it's crazy to me how many people don't get aired.
Yeah.
Like you have like a 10% chance of being aired.
Yeah.
So even if you make it to auditions, even if you make it to Hollywood Week, like
You could still not be anywhere in the
you could
American
literally just
Idol
disappear.
world.
Like there was people that made it to the end of Hollywood Week, got cut right before the top 26, never were shown.
I believe that though.
They just didn't
It's crazy.
fit the profile.
Or they just like didn't make it into the mix. Like it's really weird. Like
Just
you'll see
cut.
like they will cut the most talented people. Like
Yeah.
during the first round, I literally sat there with my jaw on the floor. Like I was just flabbergasted by the people that weren't making it through. But it's really all about like your brand. Like they genuinely look into like your potential, how much you'll grow. And I think that's really what carried me far was every single round I got better.
Yeah.
And so it was like, okay, she has potential. There's a storyline here. It's all about being marketable. Like
Yeah.
I think that is one thing. Like there's a difference between The Voice and American Idol. The Voice is just looking at like your singing ability as a vocalist, like not how you're marketable, not how they're selling you to record labels. Like American Idol is all about like forming you into an artist, putting you under that pressure,
Yeah.
seeing how you react. That was also another thing that I found was when I reacted allegedly really well to getting cut the first time, that is why they asked me to come back.
When you were
Like
14.
they said, no, when I was cut like
Oh
on the
yeah,
show.
you said the second time.
Yeah.
So yeah, tell us about that. You didn't
That makes
elaborate
sense.
on that second time that you were
So
cut.
in Hollywood Week, I actually tested positive for COVID after duets.
Oh, is that what happened?
Yeah. And so I was in my room, my hotel room for 6 days, 6 entire days, didn't cross the threshold of my room. My mom got COVID the day of duets. And so that was like a whole thing. I still tested negative that day. So they allowed me to go perform my duet with Stefan. And then I had to have Colby fly down. Colby's my stepdad. Colby fly down to be my parent because I needed a guardian there. And it was a whole ordeal. Like it was so stressful. So that morning I didn't even get to like rehearse my duet with Stefan. Like we didn't get anything with music director. We were backstage 20 minutes before we were supposed to go on stage and like working out our
Yeah.
arrangement, practicing it. We didn't get a stage like set or anything. Like everyone else got like a rehearsal and everything. But I got COVID-19 the next day. I tested positive, and they trapped me in my room for 6 days until I tested negative, and I didn't have a single symptom. And so it just sucked. Like that was another moment where I was like, I just hit rock bottom. Like the most important week of my life.
She's like, maybe this isn't meant to be.
I was like, okay, maybe this isn't meant to be. Everything happens for a reason. Like, but I was in my room for 6 days at the most important week of my life, and I couldn't do anything. Like I was literally, I was so hopeless.
Arguing it. It's just,
I don't think I was just so defeated. Like I was like, the universe is against me at this point. And so moving on, I once I tested negative, the day I tested negative, they were doing showstoppers that round. So that's the final round of Hollywood Week. That's like where there's an actual audience. Like you're just supposed to be like giving it all on the stage. There's an audience. They see how you react to the audience, like how you play into that. I couldn't do that. I did it over Zoom. Oh my gosh. It was so awkward.
You did it over Zoom?
Yes. It felt like I was on FaceTime with the judges. Like they all like crouched in to the camera.
Oh. That was supposed to be your audience interaction?
And like literally the audio was so bad. They only aired like 3 seconds of it. And like, oh my gosh, it's so funny because it's like so glitchy and it just does not
You're like, is this a pity tryout? Is this a real
literally,
tryout?
But like the thing is like I thought once I got COVID, like I was done for. Like I thought if I tested negative, they were gonna fly me home and be like, you're cut.
Yeah.
And so I was thankful for any chance I could get. And so I was like, okay, fine, I'll hop on a Zoom. And like the production team was actually so sweet. Like they were working with me through everything.
Yeah.
Like you would think like they would be just rude and just say, nope, you're cut. Like, but no, as soon as I tested positive, they put me on a Zoom with the exec producer and the lady that manages all the contestants. Her name's Amy. I love her to death. And they were like, we're working this out for you. Like, we're going to make this work for you. I don't know if it was because like I was one of their favorites or like if they actually just like saw hope for me.
Compassion.
Yeah. I don't know. But I mean, I'm completely in debt to them because that literally saved my butt. So I went on the Zoom. Everything they said was really nice. I literally talked to Katy Perry about the smoothie she was drinking before I did my like song.
Like, oh, is that Jamba?
No, literally. I was like, oh my gosh, that looks so good. Like, what is that? And she was like, oh, it's my own brand. And I'm like, oh.
Like, oh, I'm in quarantine.
Yeah. And I was like, yeah, I'm in my hotel room. And just chilling in my hotel room. And I got a noise complaint. That was really funny. But I got a noise complaint. But yeah, I did my show stoppers round through a Zoom. And I mean, it was really hard not to feel defeated or just sad. Like I just literally had to put it all out there.
Yeah.
So then the day I tested negative was the first day that they were filming Final Judgment. And so I couldn't go on set because I had to like wait a whole day to like be completely negative and all this. So my mom and I, of course, went to Disneyland. And so we wandered Disneyland and that was really fun. Masked up, of course, and completely safe. But the thing is, when I had COVID, I didn't even show a single symptom. Like I was fine. The only thing that made me feel sick was the fact I cried for 3 days straight. So like
in your own sorrow.
I was just listening to the new SZA album and just sobbing.
You just needed a day to pick yourself up.
Oh my gosh. Like it was like, I don't think like I've never been one to like struggle with mental health, but like that triggered it. Like
and at such a young age too to deal with something that's so like can be so life-changing. That's a lot of pressure.
It was so much just in such a little amount of time. Like there was never a day that week that I didn't have something going on. And so to have all that stress build up and then all of a sudden for everything to just crash down on me, it was like,
so
like that's the last thing you're expecting. It's just like a negative COVID test to just screw everything up.
It was so dumb. Like, and I didn't even feel sick. I didn't even feel sick. And I think that was the worst part. Like I would have rather been like, so sick.
Didn't expect
and
it.
Like, but I was healthy in my room and I was making TikToks. I was learning how to do like random flips that were trending on TikTok, like off of my hotel bed. I have like TikTok drafts of me doing like a backflip off of my hotel room bed. It's so funny.
Productive things.
Yeah. And like the amount of money that DoorDash made from me was insane.
They didn't provide you COVID food?
Well, like they gave us like Uber Eats codes.
Oh, okay.
But I ran through those really quick because I was snacking on anything that LA had to offer me. Like I was like, if I'm going to be trapped in my room, you know, I'm going to gain some weight and I'm going to eat everything. Yeah. I had like this really good,
was it like a daily per diem they gave you?
Yeah.
In the codes?
Yeah. So I think they paid for like lunch and dinner. But it was like a $20 Uber Eats code and I had me and my mom. So we were still spending a lot of money.
Yeah.
But I tried edamame from like 3 different restaurants in one day and I was living
That's
it
hilarious.
up. It was so good.
That's so funny.
But yeah, no, the day I tested negative, my mom and I went to Disneyland. And then the next day they had me sent out to Malibu and I had to have everything packed up. And I had to be ready, camera ready at 5:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
And so I was rested. I was ready to go. And I was just happy to be out of my room and just back on set.
Right. You had been.
And so they sent me down with the adults because they already had the minors down there staying in that hotel. But since for minor labor laws, they had to have them closer. But so I went down with the adults. I was all like ready to just go. And I thought I was just going to get cut because final judgment, they call it the green mile because it's just where they limit it down to the top 55 down to the top 26.
It's a lot.
Well, it's actually top 24. They extended it to the top 26. And so I was just chilling there and I was just having a good day catching up with all my friends because I hadn't seen them. And it just like, I don't know. I was low-key a stranger to everybody, which really sucked. And that was... it was a growing moment, like just being mature and okay with myself and just kind of walking in and like holding my head high, even though
it's hard when you don't know anyone.
Yeah. So I just went in and I hung out with my minor friends, even though I was low-key an outcast because I wasn't there for 6 days. 6 days are the most stressful days of their lives and the trauma bond is unreal.
They're like, she's gone.
Yeah, literally. Oh, she got cut. Actually,
she's gone.
Yeah. Like I'm the plague girl. Like I'm like everyone's worst nightmare at that point. And so it was weird walking on set. We were in Malibu and it was freezing cold. Oh my gosh. And I decided to wear like this cutout tank top. I was freezing my butt off. But then they called my name with Meg and Daniel. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm being put into a sing-off. So they pulled us aside and they took us into the judging room and they're like, we want you to do a sing-off. Because we know, Paige, you had the underhand and like didn't get the chance to perform in front of us like everyone else. And Megan, we're just not sure about you. And you guys are sort of similar. We're not similar at all. Like she's country and I'm not country at all. And so it was really weird.
Yeah. You're both girls.
So. Like literally 2 females, let's make it work. Like everyone, when they called us together, everyone went, what? I literally went and I hid in the porta potty and I started stalking her Instagram because I didn't know who she was. I know, I didn't know who she was. And so we went in.
She's probably the one next to you doing the same thing.
Yeah, literally. I was like, But yeah, we went in and they told us we're going to do a sing off and they gave us 30 minutes. We went and we picked an Adele song because they gave us a choice of any Adele song. So we went, had 30 minutes. I learned a whole second verse because she didn't want to give up the first verse. And I was like, okay, whatever. Like, we're good. I'm not going to cause drama, even though that's what they want. Yeah. And so, yeah, I learned an entire second verse in 30 minutes, went in and performed it and lost. I lost. And I mean, I was 17 going up against like a 25-year-old. So it's whatever. I was 16 actually at the time. Yeah. And I wasn't like defeated or anything. Like they literally said, and Paige, you're not in our top 24. And I go, okay. And I literally smiled. And then when they were hyping up Megan because she did such a phenomenal job, like I literally was sitting there. Yeah. Because she's just so amazing. And there was no really comparing our voices. Yeah. Like, I don't know where they came at that because we're just 2 different people. Yeah. And so when they told me I got cut, I was like, cool. I knew it was coming. And I was like, thanks for giving me the opportunity to like prove myself. Yeah. Like, like they gave me the opportunity to prove myself and that's all I could ask for. Like I would have rathered that than just walking in and
did that get aired?
Yeah, it did. They actually put it on like a cliffhanger. So like they had me perform and then they cut off the episode.
Went
and
to
then
commercial?
No, they went
to the next episode.
The next day was when it aired. Like I already knew what was happening. So like I got cut and then after they made me go through and do all my goodbye interviews. And the only time I ever cried was when I was talking about like how amazing Megan did. And then when they were like, so how are you feeling? And I was like, oh, I'm good. Like I'm just excited to go eat. Like I've been overworked today, low key. Like I'm over minor labor laws right now. Like I've been here for 13 hours and I'm only legally supposed to be here for 10, but
do my Uber codes still work?
Yeah, like no, they do. I actually got like a bunch saved up and I kept it in my Ubers and I paid for an Uber in Nashville with my Uber Eats codes from like a year ago.
That's so great.
I know. I didn't even notice they were there, but thank goodness American Idol funded my Uber. But
it's interesting how communicated they were with you throughout the whole thing. From an outsider's perspective, it seems like something where you're just maybe
on your own.
Just kind of on your own.
I don't know.
Like you sing and then
like show up when you're supposed to show up.
Like I didn't realize how much back and forth is between you and how much you know. Because that does add a whole nother layer of like
it's
just I don't know
stress and pressure and
how they make that like work. It baffles me.
It's almost like a lot of that I'd be like, just don't tell me. Like I just want to sing.
Surprise.
No, when you're there, you're like hungry for that information.
Yeah.
Like being in the unknown is the scariest thing. And you're always in the unknown. It's definitely a hurry up and wait kind of experience. You're never knowing what's next. Like, you never know if you're going to get cut. Even if you have the suckiest performance of your life, they still might put you through.
Yeah.
So it's insane to me. And so, yeah, after I got cut, I went through all the interviews and I was like, okay, bye, Idol. And then they pulled me aside and they were like, hey, Paige, would you be willing to be like the first alternate for like if somebody drops out? I was like, okay, cool. Like, they're like, we just can't have you get your hopes up. Like, we don't want to do that to you. Like, don't get your hopes up.
That's
and I was
weird. Because I would think if someone's like just going to drop out, they'd be like, all right, we lost one. Now we're down to 22.
No.
Not like let's replace it so we can cut her again.
But I mean, it's really going to be, I'm so thankful.
Yeah, right?
Like what?
Hey, I'm thankful for the airtime. I'm so thankful for the airtime.
Okay, but go on.
Yeah, they just,
Gotta limit the competition. But no, I'm so thankful for that opportunity though.
Yeah, so got you back. Okay.
Yeah, but I didn't get my hopes up. Like, I'm not one to be like, oh my gosh, I'm just looking forward to this one thing. Like, I had a whole year to sit on American Idol and I totally forgot about it. Like, I've never been one to be like getting my hopes up over one small thing. And so I'm thankful that I have that type of personality, or else I would have been completely wrecked by how they went about me being the alternate. Because I showed up the next day to like the top 26 meeting where everyone was like going through their legal meeting. They were giving us lawyers and everyone goes, Paige, why are you here?
Oh,
like,
no.
I went up to Megan. Megan came up and hugged me. I was like, oh my gosh, Megan. And she goes, Paige, what are you doing here?
Like, you got cut.
No.
And yeah, and so I couldn't say anything. Like, they wouldn't let me say anything. So I was just like seeming like the outsider that was just chilling.
Showed up.
So embarrassing.
That's so.
Yeah.
That is.
And so I was chilling there. And
no.
finally, I was like getting fitted for my in-ears because we finally got those because we were going to go to the studio set.
Yeah.
And oh my gosh. I remember Tyson. He was one of the minors, Tyson Menegas. He turned to me and he goes, and then he started texting Haven. And Haven comes up to me, Paige, why are you here? And I was like, I'm the alternate. Like, they asked me to be alternate. So if somebody drops out, like, I'm in. And they were like, oh my gosh, that's so exciting. And then they finally announced it to everyone. And there was one other girl that was the alternate there. And I got the dirtiest side eye from her. Like, I remember it was just alternate.
Was she another alternate?
Yes, she was the other alternate.
You?
Yes.
Oh.
But we didn't know like the order of it all. But
gotta watch out for that girl.
I know. I was like, hey,
where
she
did the
doesn't follow
COVID
me, so
come
we're
from?
chilling. But yeah, no, I remember just getting like the dirtiest like glance from her because it was like, oh, this is the real competition right here to see who is the first alternate, because none of us knew. And I was like, I don't really care. Like, whatever is meant to happen will happen.
Like, I'm just here.
And I'm like, I've already had COVID. Like, I've had every rock thrown at me and I'm still chilling as the alternate and I'm completely content. And so I didn't know that I made it into the top 26 until a week before we left for Hawaii. They put me on a Zoom meeting and were like, hey, Paige, you're in. Like, the whole like week before, they were like saying like, hey, like, get ready. Like, hey, maybe my Idol coach was like texting me and he was like, hey, how's it going? And I was like, oh, there's something going on, isn't there? You don't just text me out of nowhere. And so, I got a Zoom call and I was just sobbing and I had to go find Hawaii clothes in the middle of February in Idaho Falls. Shopping options were like non-existent, but like nothing I could order online would get here in time. So thank goodness to Dillard's for having their little section of Hawaii clothes, kind of, sort of, I don't know. And so then I flew off to Hawaii. I got my music done and I was ready. Thank goodness I had like a vision for like what I wanted this performance to be since I was like 6. So it was like perfect.
Yeah.
Like, I knew the song and everything. But yeah, I got to Hawaii and it was like just like the craziest week of my life. Like, I got there and
crazier than Hollywood Week and all of that.
No, it wasn't like that kind of crazy. It was just like, that was like peak for Idol for me. Like, I was just happy. Like, I went there and I low-key felt like an outsider again because I was the alternate. Like, I replaced one of their friends and like I didn't ever get to like get close with them because I was sick. And that's when everyone got close, was like those 6 days where I was gone. And so I went in and I had to like just basically start over with friends. And I mean, it's such a family. So I was coming in a little late, but they all accepted me after a little while. And yeah, and nobody knew that, like, how I sang. Nobody knew really much about me because I was never really around. And so the day before this is actually funny. The day before I was supposed to perform, Haven and I had 2 similar outfits. Like,
they're
we
too
had
close to each other.
Yeah, so since we're like Disney Channel stars at this point, because Disney owns American Idol, so they have like dress codes for
the
minors.
Alani stuff, right?
And so we can't show our midriffs, and her outfit showed her midriff, and so she had to put a shirt under it, and it was like this like blue top with like a shirt under it. Yeah. That's what I wanted to wear.
Yeah,
it was really similar to what I wanted to wear. And they were like, hey, Paige, so you actually have to go. I know it's your day off, and I know you're having like a great time exploring Hawaii right now on the North Shore, but you actually need to change your outfit. I was violently sobbing through the mall of Honolulu looking for something to wear.
You might have passed us.
Getting lost
we used to work at Ala Moana.
Really?
Our coworker actually
That's
was
insane.
like worked at your production for American Idol there.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah.
What was her name? Wait.
His name was Drake.
His name was Drake. It was his first day being
what was he? Just like an assistant.
Just an assistant, yeah.
If you showed me a picture, like I probably would actually.
He at one point was like, "There's a girl from Hawaii or from Idaho, you guys." Like,
I probably knew him then.
I love Drake.
Okay, yes. Please show me this.
Because Drake was one of our homies.
He was telling me that he that day had to go find colored organizer papers, like the colored dividers.
Oh, they send those PR people.
The weirdest
he said he couldn't find them anywhere on the island and had to go. I think they like punched their own holes.
He bought colored paper to punch holes in it.
He said they were like very specific. Had to go to different stores. And would not allow it.
Yeah,
he was like, really you see that chair that Katy Perry's in? He's like, I bought it. I picked it out at the store.
That's so funny.
Yeah, I wonder.
Trying to see if there's anything.
But yeah, so were you at the Ala Moana Mall? Because you said you went to like Zara, right?
I don't know. I went to like 2 different malls, and I was sobbing. Yeah. And I ran into Benson Boone. Do you guys know who that is?
He's this guy. Do you recognize him?
That'd be so
pictures
random.
of him from American Idol.
Yes. I have it. Okay, wait.
You've seen him?
After we're done, I will literally show you
funny.
a video of him escorting me off the stage after my performance, and I'm like
No way.
Like I literally look high out of my mind because I was just like on that adrenaline rush. Like I was so happy, and he's escorting me.
Oh,
he was the guy who got me water too.
Oh,
he's my G. He would escort me to the potty.
Shout out to Drake. I love Drake so much. I love him.
Yeah.
He was one of our like homies there. He worked for us.
I love
him.
Yeah, but I went to the mall and I ran into Benson Boone. He's like a really prominent pop artist right now.
Okay.
Sobbing my eyes out. He was shirtless on a moped, and I just literally went, "You're Benson Boone." Continued to cry and walked away. That was like one of the peak moments of that day. But then I walked into Anthropology, one of my favorite stores. Sponsor me, please.
Wait, which one were you at? Ala Moana? Was it like
Was it all outdoor? Inside, or like was it walking down like a road? Because there would be the choice of either in Waikiki and it'd be like walking down the road, or if you were at our Anthropology by us. Because that means you would have been like
I went to both
2 doors down from Dan and me.
I went to 2 different, but I think the one that I bought the dress from. Hold up, I gotta like have a moment here of like remembering
of what your day
it was all
like.
A blur. Like I was just sobbing. Like there's a video of
so
me literally
emotional.
going like. I just walked past Benson Boone and I'm sobbing. Like I had like white crust down my face because it's so humid there. So when you cry, it was just like, well, because I was literally trying on clothes in my swimsuit because I just went and swam in a waterfall. And then I got the call. I was having such a good day. And then all of a sudden I get a call and I literally was just like, oh my gosh, I'm so sunburned and I'm just sobbing. So I was trying on clothes in my swimsuit. So I felt so bad for the workers because they were just dealing with a sobbing me trying to try on stuff.
Like, what's going on?
Yeah. And my poor parents, like they had to deal with that hot mess. And I was like, I'm so sorry, guys, but I'm so upset right now because the outfit I've been planning on that I put together a whole week ago is not working.
Yeah. That's annoying.
Yeah. But I don't know which mall it was. I might have to like pull up my Snapchat memories and figure it out.
It just sucks.
We're like in the background of one of your photos.
That
would
be so lit. Like, who would have known?
I'm changing a form in the Abercrombie
we have that
window.
one connection with Drake, though. That's funny. That's really funny.
I know, that's so funny. You know, Drake.
I love
that's hilarious.
that. Yeah. No, and so I found that purple dress.
So I remember he did say something too. He was like, dude, there's a girl from Idaho there.
Yeah. And we were like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
Because we're the only people he knew from Idaho.
I love that. No, that's so insane that you'd like, I guess I knew that you guys lived there, but I wouldn't have known that you guys were like friends with like production literally. People. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I found this dress that looked like I was a grape. Like,
yeah. I like that dress. It's cute.
Oh yeah. It was so cute.
One.
Yeah. The purple dress.
And so like I didn't actually like it when I initially picked it out, but I was like, oh, this would like fit
and
the
that
vibe.
was Zara. I thought it was Zara.
No, it was Anthropology.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I still have the tags on it.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I'm going to return it.
Because I remember seeing it with the tags on the other day.
Yeah, I literally
can't remember.
I brought it to a shoot. Yeah. And it has the tags on it. I still haven't taken the tags off. It was expensive. My poor parents. But I was sobbing and they were like, they couldn't say
Just
no.
get her the dress.
I had like 3 different things. Like I have like a bunch of clothes that I got that day because like I didn't know what to wear and I had to take it to the stylist and for them to figure it out because I already had like all of my stuff like approved and so it was really annoying.
So you had to run everything by them.
Yeah, I had to run everything.
Wow.
And so yeah, but everyone loved the purple dress and I love the purple dress now that it's associated with that performance. But yeah, none of it was pre-planned. Like I did that the day before I was supposed to perform. Yeah, it was like total last minute, but like everything works out.
Yeah.
What time
Everything
was it
happens
when
for a
they
reason.
called you that day to tell you?
About 4 o'clock.
In
4
the
p.m.?
afternoon? What?
And then
That's
you had to
not
find an
fair.
outfit by that evening.
I had to find an
They
outfit.
say that's a 3-4 hour
That's in the
task
traffic.
in
4
Hawaii.
o'clock, you're on North Shore. That's hours to get to town.
Yeah, we drove.
Damn.
We
Oh.
Ubered the hour.
Stop.
No. We were actually
That
in a convertible. Wait,
sucks.
we had a car and we had to drive the hour and I didn't get
Yeah,
there until
you're-
about 5 o'clock.
Like the furthest from any mall you possibly could be.
And then we went to
The
in town
closest would be Pearl
Honolulu,
Ridge.
and I went into one mall and I couldn't find an Anthropologie, and I was freaking out. And then we went to an H&M, but I was like, I don't want to wear H&M clothing on the top
So that
26
wasn't
She
ours.
rounds.
must have been Waikiki.
You're at
then.
IMP for that one.
Yeah, but
we didn't
then,
have an H&M.
then we drove.
So then you came to our mall then.
Then I came to your guys'
Yep, you
mall
came
because
to
I
our
was
mall.
indoors and I couldn't find the Anthropologie and I was freaking out.
Yep, that was us.
Yep. So I probably did walk past you guys.
You
Yeah,
100%
probably did.
walked past us.
That's insane.
Right?
We were there all the time. We
I love
lived
that.
there.
Oh my gosh. That's so
Yep.
weird to think about. Like,
I know, right?
You could have watched me walking through the mall, sobbing my eyes out, and probably been like, wow, what
Like,
a
look
weirdo.
at that
No,
girl.
honestly, like we could have been having like a meeting. There'd be times we'd be sitting there like kind of by that Anthro is a like a coffee shop. And so
Yeah.
we'd sit there a lot and like have like chats. We'd often be sitting there just like
People watching there is insane. It's insane.
So we'd be like, oh shit, someone just threw up in that trash
What's,
can.
what's
We're
one
like,
of the
"Keep it."
craziest things you saw?
I love that. Oh, like while I was in Hawaii.
Like people wise, because I remember
It's a
I remember like our first week there, I was working in the downtown area and I went to Subway and Sarah's texting me on my lunch break and she's like, how's lunch going? And I remember texting the back like, it's going good. And I look up and this lady is like bent over, no pants on, like bending
the
into
trash
the
can.
trash can. And then
Like flailing legs
bent
up.
over, like really,
Gosh.
No pants.
really bad
pants.
sights.
Or undies.
That's really
And,
unfortunate. That's really
Couldn't find anything, just like walked on like it was normal. And this was like our first week back there. And I mean, I hadn't been back since I was a kid. So I was just like, I don't know if Hawaii is what we thought it was.
yeah.
And then pretty much saw something like that every day since.
Yeah.
I think the weirdest thing that happened was like while I was having my meltdown, there was this lady that like
You
fell.
were the crazy.
Honestly, I probably was the crazy one. But literally this lady like walked into a puddle and she like slipped and fell. And like her shoe like went flying. And so I went chasing after her shoe and my parents were like
Where?
helping her up at the mall.
It's slick floors. Those
Like
floors are slick as shit.
at the outdoor mall.
Yeah, they're
And
slick.
like she fell and she was like, oh my gosh, like I can't
so
walk.
slick.
And she couldn't walk. And so literally my family and I, we walked her back to her apartment.
What?
It was like a mile away. But we walked her back to her apartment. Like we were helping her, like carrying this woman.
That's nice.
Because she
of
couldn't
you.
walk. And we literally had to talk to the people at the front desk and be like, hey, can you like let us in so we can like take her to her room?
What?
It was insane. Like mid meltdown, we were like, hold up, let's take a pause.
Time to rescue this
We
random
gotta-
woman who fell on
who
the
fell right in
floor.
front of us. But like, I mean, she needed us. So I
Yeah.
was like, okay, we'll help.
Coming to the rescue.
Taking a little pause. Good Samaritan moment. Hopefully, like it'll come back. Karma's
some
good.
karma.
Right.
Like I wasn't even thinking about that like in the moment, but like now I'm like, okay, maybe there was good karma because after that we went to the mall that had the Anthropologie and
Yep.
I got my dress. But yeah, no. Then the next day, filmed my performance, went great, and like I was on top of the world.
You see
Yeah.
that old lady in the stands.
That's so funny.
like,
I remember
Yeah.
that week exactly because it was a week that Drake was gone from work. So
Yeah.
it was like I had to work extra hard.
I had to work extra hard. Oh my gosh.
So that's so funny. Wow. Okay, so
since American
you did
Idol,
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
what's life
What's
been
going
like?
on? What are you doing now?
I mean, coming off of like the high of American Idol has been insane. Like if you think like the hard times while on American Idol were rock bottom, like I've hit rock bottom right now. Like,
I'm sure that's hard
No,
to come
I'm
back
sure
from.
that after
Oh.
is really hard.
I mean, this summer was completely so busy for me. And like, I'm so thankful for all the opportunities I got, like
Yeah.
while in town. And like, I got to meet some amazing people, perform for some amazing crowds. But like, now that I'm off that like busy high and I had to go back to school and then I couldn't even make schoolwork
like,
because my
ugh.
attendance was awful. And
Yeah.
so now that I'm not even in school, like, I just feel like I have nothing.
Yeah.
Like I feel so unproductive. I feel like I'm not going anywhere. And I know I'm young and everyone will say like, no, you have a bright future. And I'm like, well, it doesn't feel like it right now.
yeah.
Still
'cause, like-
doesn't change the fact
Yeah.
that it's scary.
And like, I do not want American Idol to be my peak. Like, I know it's not my peak.
For sure.
But like, I don't want it to be the only thing I ever do in my life. And so I like right now, I'm literally just at like that rock bottom of like, what do I do? Yeah. So I've been working on my music and I'm hopefully releasing music here soon. Well, I am releasing new music. We've been working on stuff. It's just been really hard to like navigate everything, like what gigs I want to do, including since like people here are just like, oh, you're just Paige. Like, you're not that cool anymore. And I'm like, I know guys, I know. And so like, I don't know. It's just been really, really rough lately.
Yeah.
If I'm completely honest, it's just been.
I remember that describing those feelings. So I would always talk to our coworkers, like our little children that we were with, and they would be like leaving high school and going to college. And I remember that feeling of like when
it seems so important.
Graduated like
at that time. Well,
no, it was when I graduated college. And like it's like you have all these steps, like you have this mental image of like what's your steps going to be in life. And then it was like I graduated college, and then it was like, and then I was done. Yeah. And then it was like, now what? Yeah. Now what like do high school I do? College don't last forever. Like, what the frick? It's like it's over. Now it's like now I need to actually decide what I want to do with my life and not have these like stepping stones already basically laid out for me. Yeah. And so it is one of those like, oh shit moments of like, now what?
Because you go from everyone telling you about all the positives, like what it could be, like in your situation with school. It's like if you do really well, you could get this job that makes you $200,000 a year. You know, if you do well at American Idol, you can be successful and be a millionaire singer. And all this like glory. But like they don't talk about
like there's more.
Like there's way more. And if you're only locked in on one thing and then it doesn't work how you thought, like
what do you do? Like. You literally just have nowhere to go. And it's so weird. I literally had to write a song about it. Like my song High Crash. Yeah. It's about that. Like I don't know what to do now. Like,
for sure.
But I loved it. And I love the adrenaline rush of it all. But coming off of it, it's just insane.
You need to find, you have to fill that same void that you just created of like filling that creative energy and all the other things that
it's kind of an exciting place to be in though. Because really you can only...
go up
and there's nothing really to worry about. Like,
well, I mean, honestly, I think it's just like the picture that people expect so much from me. And I'm like, whenever people ask me, like literally I have people ask me, they're like, are you still singing? And I go, no, like I totally just gave up on it after I got cut on American Idol. Like I just quit. Like they told me I wasn't good enough. So I guess I'm not good enough. Yeah. Like, yep, I'm not singing anymore. But like, that's not like the case. And the work doesn't stop, and I've been working my butt off, but it just doesn't feel like enough because I'm not getting as much glory as I did while I was on the show. Sure. And so I don't know why I should care what people think, but I do. Yeah, no, Hollywood Week started yesterday for people that are filming right now. Like they flew them out. So today's like their first day of filming that they're going to be doing B-roll, and then tomorrow's going to be their first performance round. Yeah. I have some friends that are on this season, and so they're texting me like trying to get all the insight. And I'm like, nah, they're going to change everything this year. Yeah. Like this last season was their best performing season. And so
I'm just so shook that it's still going on, to be honest. Like I watched the OG like Kelly Clarkson and like Clay Aiken seasons, and I saw them in concert like the first year this all happened, and like it should be done now.
I agree. But
it's super cool.
It's so cool. Yeah.
Do you have a manager now, or do you find your own gigs?
I play my own gigs.
So what does that look like? You just reach out to people saying?
No, people reach out to me. Okay. Like, cool. I mainly look for like people that reach out to me because it's the easiest way to go about it. But I still like submit myself to like other audition places, but majority of the time the places that I would be doing that too like are now reaching out to me instead of me having to put myself out there. But like originally before Idol, before I had somewhat of a name for myself, I had to like put myself out there, send in audition videos, and be okay with being told no. Yeah. Because honestly, the no's are just like fuel. Like when Katy Perry told me no. When Katy Perry told me no, I was like, it's fuel. Yeah. Like it just gave me that one extra little push that I was like, oh, I need to prove myself. And so, it's really just putting yourself out there and like not being afraid to have a social media presence. That's something that I'm getting over right now, is like not caring what other people think. Like as a teenager, it's so scary.
People can be really mean too.
And teenagers are so mean. Like I literally, like my Instagram handle is the Paige Anne. That came from literally kids bullying me.
The Paige Anne?
Yeah, the Paige Anne. They call me the Paige Anne. And so now I just had to run with it. And so it's really just like adapting to that fact that I'm like, okay, I'm comfortable in myself. don't want to care about what people are saying, but of course it's still going to get to me.
Yeah.
And so that's been really rough to like handle.
No, I get it.
So
I get it.
It does, old man advice here. It does get easier to not care what they think.
That is true.
It does get a lot easier.
In life, just in life in general.
At some point, those people who make fun of you or are judgmental, life catches up with them.
Yeah.
And then they don't have any reason to judge anymore. And then it's like...
Yeah.
But then it's also like the things that they're judging you for are like
out of pure
stupid,
jealousy.
Yeah, like dumb stuff. Where I remember it'd be like our associates and I'd be talking and like maybe mess up a word and they'd kind of laugh. And I'm like, I'm not embarrassed by that.
Yeah,
it's a mistake. That's a human mistake. You can trip. Like, that happens. Like just little things like that you just eat into yourself that really don't matter.
It's so much more fun when you don't care. I know easier said than done because parts of you always care. But yeah, once you don't, it's just like
I'm working so hard at that
nice.
and like just being confident in myself and like trying to like just be okay to like open up on the internet, be vulnerable on the internet.
But you post on TikTok.
I do.
People are mean on TikTok.
Oh yeah, I have like comments
like so mean.
I
so
have
mean.
unlocked so many new insecurities because of TikTok.
So we're called film garbage.
Really?
I kind of laughed at that.
I was like, that was a good one. That was a really good one.
Somebody told me I had a long face on TikTok, and I was like, that's a new insecurity unlocked right there. Oh, guys. And like I have people that will like go on rants saying like I'm going to hell because I didn't follow them back, and I'm like, my bad, bro, my bad.
People.
Like there was one on my YouTube they commented on one like American Idol's YouTube, and they were like, she's just like not a good performer with those gangly arms of hers. And I was like, I know, I'm a Slenderman, like I'm well aware, guys.
But why did you have to sit down?
I know, like why are you commenting on my appearance when the whole point of this video is my voice? Like why? Like why?
And then you want to grill them, but it's just like, is it worth it?
It's not worth your time. Like when people are commenting hate comments, this is like my biggest thing, and I'll tell it to anybody. It says everything about them and absolutely nothing about you.
Yes.
That's my biggest thing.
I
like,
saw someone say that the other day.
I've been saying this since Idol. Like I'm like, it says everything about them and nothing about me. But that's really hard when I'm trying to put that into my everyday life when I'm surrounded by my peers, because they're the people I've grown up with. They're the people that knew me before all this happened, and they're just brutal.
Saying all these things.
So brutal. Or there's like people that don't even know me that have never talked to me, but they hate me. Yeah. And they talk so much crap on me.
Yeah.
And it's like, I've never been one to be like scared of confrontation, but at that point I'm like, are you really worth my time if you're mad at me because over a boy, or just talking because
just menial
you're just
things
off? Like people are just
like
so
teenage
mean.
shit. Yeah,
I know. Like teenage drama is so stupid.
Yeah,
like why are people so petty? I don't get it. Like live your life. Like get out of mine.
It's
like
funny
please.
though, because that pettiness, like some people just don't grow out of it.
No.
You get older, and that pettiness just seems even more petty. Because then when you get like a 45-year-old doing the thing an 18-year-old teenager should be doing,
you're like,
then it's like, oh my god, you still haven't learned.
I have 45-year-old, like I have people that come to me that are like triple my age, and they're trying to start drama with me, and I'm like, I am 17 years old. Yeah. Please leave me alone.
Yeah,
like, stop.
Yeah,
people get older; they don't get smarter.
No,
they don't. They don't.
No, I could go on for hours about just like how people have like just projected their insecurities onto me, or like try to make it so I discover new things about myself that I should be insecure about because they think I should be insecure about it.
A lot of people don't understand it either until they've done something on their own, like you trying to go out and be your own person and have reasons to be insecure. Because then if you've done that, you would never be that way to someone.
You'd support
it's always
the other
people who have never tried it
and be like, you are killing it.
That is one thing I found with like being in the music industry and like just being in that industry. People support people. Like it's like, let's help build each other up.
Good.
And so, but then you'll also find like those people that take everything as a competition, and that's also a little icky. But what do you do?
Just noted.
Yeah. Like noted, stay away from you. Like that's okay.
Yep.
That's okay. You just have to navigate it, and you have to learn how to read people.
It's true.
But networking is the most important thing. So it's like, I don't know. It's genuinely hard not to compare yourself to everyone. And
this profession you're choosing, I mean, it really sounds like it affects a lot of relationships.
Oh, it really, really does.
Yeah.
And keeping that family relationship, it's really hard. Like, that's something like I haven't really talked about a lot with people, is like how it's like affected my relationship with my parents, and like because there's a lot of things that like go into it. Like there's some parents that will be like, hey, I don't want you in like the public eye, and like, and I've been in it since I was really young. Yeah. And so like even with my mom, like she's my momager. And sometimes that becomes like a business side of things, or is it a family side of things?
Sure.
And so it's been really hard on our relationship, and we're still working through it. But I mean, nothing's perfect.
Yeah.
And that's one thing, like a lot of people think that my life is like, oh, fun. And like, that's why they probably talk a lot of crap on me, because they think like
your life's perfect.
They
You
see
got it
the-
made.
But in reality, like
parts.
I become more of a mental case more than ever because of what I've gone through.
Yeah.
Like the comparison, it kills. Like comparison is killing me. Like
Yeah.
the constant hate is killing me. Like it's like learning how to just like be strong, move on, and understand that I need to be confident myself before I can continue on with what I'm doing. And so I think that's why right now it feels like I'm hitting rock bottom, because it's a time where I need to like literally reflect on everything that I'm going through,
Yeah.
fix myself so that I can grow my brand and become who I'm supposed to be.
Yeah. Refuel those juices and
Yes.
then
That way your whole
Come
story
back.
isn't going to American Idol. This is just the
No.
start of your story.
I don't want to be
next.
the girl that was on
Yeah.
American Idol. I
that
want to
was
be the
the
girl that
beginning.
I don't even want American Idol to be like my
so
only
popular
thing.
one
Yeah,
day
yeah.
that people are like, oh, what? You were on
You
American
were on
Idol?
American Idol? Oh, I didn't know
Like
that.
Kelly Clarkson. Like it's like kind of a little talk
But she's
of like,
like
on
the
American.
OG girl.
Yeah.
Like she's all. Nobody goes on the
I
show
don't
and wants
know
to
of
win.
anybody
Even Kelly
else,
Clarkson
like-
didn't want to win. Fun little fact.
Yeah.
She did not want to win because she got this like movie deal out of it, and she did not want to be in the movie. She was like, I don't want to do this. And so she didn't want to win. So when they told her that she won, she, like you see in her face, she goes, because it meant she like, if you win, you're on that contract and you have to do it.
Oh.
And so I would, when like, I didn't go into it thinking I was going to win, like at all.
Yeah.
Like you saw, I was like, I thought I was going to get cut the first round, but like nobody goes into it wanting to win. And a lot of people are like, oh, I'm sorry you didn't win. I'm like, I'm not. I'm so thankful for where I got cut.
Yeah. It's just stepping stones to get
Yeah.
you to where you're at. Like you don't have to win.
It's a
to-
platform. Like,
Yeah.
it's like the ultimate marketing place for my business. So if
Sure.
you think about it, like, hey, this is my brand, because that's how I had to start thinking about it. Like American Idol taught me so much about how I want to market myself, how I need to brand myself,
How they look at you. So
It's
that,
true. Literally
how the music
groomed you to
industry
that.
is. Like
Yeah.
I literally was talking to like labels and I was like, I don't think I'm ready for a label yet. Like it's not that I don't want one. It's not
Well,
that
that's
they
good though
weren't
to not
talking to
lock
me,
you
but
in one right there.
Yeah,
like
I
when
was
you weren't
like-
ready.
I'm not ready because
Yeah.
I don't have my brand yet. I don't have my image yet. I don't have like a color palette. Like I don't have
Yeah,
like,
I don't have anything.
like
You're
what?
trying to lock
and
me
I'm,
in.
I'm working on it. Like
Yeah.
that was like my
Yeah.
check. Like, okay, I'm gonna work on this and then I'll come back to you. Don't you fret. But I knew I wasn't ready.
Yeah.
I think that was like really mature on my part because a lot of people are just like wanting to rush into it. But I didn't want
Yeah.
them to create my brand for me.
Just hop on that.
And so when they
opportunity.
were like, who are you? Like, who are you as an artist? And I was like,
can't tell you
great
yet.
question. Like, and like, that was like the worst answer I possibly could have had, but it was honest. I was like, wow, I really never thought of this. Like,
Yeah.
and coming from Idaho, like, usually you don't have to have like a brand for yourself. They were like, well, what do you think your color palette is? And I was like, I've never had that question asked before.
Yeah.
So give me a
You mean
moment and I'll get right back to
my
you.
favorite color?
Yeah, like my favorite color? Oh, blue. So like, it was just like a whole ordeal. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't know who I was. And
Yeah.
so that's where I'm at right now, figuring out who I am, figuring out what my brand is. And I think I'm getting really close.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really excited to put out the music that I have coming
Yeah.
to like support that brand and just like say, this is who I am. And then just continue to grow after that.
Yeah. These next steps will be fun.
It's exciting. Yeah, you're in a
I'm
really
really
exciting
excited.
place.
Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't feel exciting
at
right
the
now.
pivot. You're at
but
the
when I'm
pivot.
looking back on it, it'll be like,
That's
it'll
what
be
it
gold.
is. It's
Absolutely.
just the baby
Yeah.
steps.
Yeah.
Like you're not going to be like at the top in one day.
No,
It's
I
just
really
incremental
wish so.
growth.
One foot in front
Yeah.
of the other every day.
That's what we tell ourselves.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We're getting there. We're all getting there
We're
together,
all
guys.
trying.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
We're all trying. Okay, so do you have any advice for someone then who, I don't know, what, not necessarily starting a business, but
Trying to pursue a dream.
Pursue your
that
own
a lot of
passion
people are
and your
trying to stop
dream.
them from.
what is
I mean-
your advice for
I
someone
mean,
doing
starting
that?
a business can be your dream. Like,
is
I know
true.
a lot of people that will be
Sure.
like, ever since they were young, they were like, I want to start a restaurant. I want to start this type
Yeah.
of brand. And so like, when I think about it, this is my business. My business is going to be my music. Like, so really for anyone that wants to start, it's really just do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I know everyone will say that, like really get into it, but it's really just cutting out that outside noise. And as somebody who's working on it, I know how hard it is. I know how hard it is to not care what other people think because people are going to be mean. But once you have haters, you know that you're making it, including once people will go and defend you to those haters.
I
Once
love
you
that.
have fights in your
Your
comments,
levels.
you know you made it. Once you have fights in the comments, you know you made it. So anybody that's trying to start a business, trying to chase their dreams, once you have haters, you know you made it. Don't let it bring you down.
I like that.
It says everything about them and nothing about you. Mm-hmm. So just keep doing what you're doing.
Awesome.
We got to love our haters.
We love the haters.
Good advice.
Yep. Can we name this episode I Heart Haters?
Okay. Paige
I love
Anne,
my
I
haters.
heart haters.
Paige loves her haters.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for coming on our podcast today.
Yes, thank you
I'm
so
sure
much.
we'll be seeing you around a lot.
Yes.
A lot.
I'm here all
so
the time.
many ideas.
So.
Okay.
Do you have a YouTube for anyone to find your
Your
music?
handles and all that.
Yeah. The Paige Anne on everything. I think it's the Paige Anne on Instagram though. So yeah, just the Paige Anne on everything. And
Okay.
you can find me everywhere. You can Google me and I'll take you to all my social media too. So
Yeah. You
New
can watch her
music
sing
coming
sick
soon. Yeah.
yes.
with the flu
At 10 years old.
at 10 years old. Okay. Bye, everyone.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks,
Bye.
Paige. Bye.